There you go. Hello,
Josh? Hi, Teal.
yeah.
Oh, come on,
Because
geez.
look, when you're mute,
It's-
you're gonna hear your
The
voice.
microphone, you could
Yes.
hear my voice.
Maybe he's just busy.
Okay.
I can hear you. Just letting
Hi
you know
there.
we're live on YouTube.
Are we on now? Hello? Josh? Miss Ellsworth, come here.
I hear you. We're not ready yet.
Okay, shall I unmute myself then? You could hear it.
Hey, Lynn, just to let you know, now that you're the host, in the meantime, there will be participants wanting to get into the Zoom meeting.
Uh-huh.
I have the waiting room on my Zoom, so you're gonna have to just admit them in every time they get on. Just FYI.
Okay, all righty.
Yeah, Bene. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Morning. Okay, good morning, everybody. It's a Friday, Good Friday morning, and we're going to get started for today. And we had a good first week, start of the week. And so I'm glad that everything went well for us this week. So I want to start off by telling you what's on the agenda for this morning. We are going to have an important guest this morning joining us, the chairman of the Hopi tribe, who's going to give an address this morning. We have Mr. Naha, who will do a short introduction for the day. We also have a student panel today, and it'll be led by Daniel Lim, who's going to Dartmouth. And we have some college students with him joining us who will talk to you about their experience in college. This afternoon, we also have a presenter from Strong Minds, who's going to be doing a presentation on the Strong Mind curriculum. Okay, so I'm going to, and then this morning too, as well, after Mr. Naha's address, right before 9, I'm going to play some videos that the teachers put together to welcome everybody. Okay. All right. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Naha for introduction.
Good morning, all. Happy Friday to you. I know you're probably excited to have the weekend started. Hopefully you found this week informational, connecting back with some of your teachers, and I'm excited about next week and we move forward with your actual instruction and the lessons that will be put into your Canvas program. So we've been kind of really serious with you this week, giving you some words of wisdom and advice through our experiences through the years, and how we all need to work together, and that those are all very important messages. But I'd like to end this week kind of more on a lighthearted note, and just kind of go through some of the things of what we're facing. And one of my favorite things, and I have young sons myself who are into social media and especially memes, and they're always sending me memes and things. And so we're going to end our week on my presentation anyway with a little presentation in meme style. So give me just a second to share my screen. All right, so we want everyone to have a meme-tastic year at Hopi Junior Senior High School for this academic school year. Now, I don't know if you know the history of memes, and I don't know if you know this guy. I'm quite sure most of you do. This is our Velociraptor. He's been around from what I know of since around 2010, 2011. So that's how old memes are. These are our very first ones when memes first started, and always a guy of wisdom. So just wondering if, as you as a younger generation, if you're going to be confused, we posted old memes. So this is look up this guy if you have never seen him. Always some funny memes out there with him. So your grandparents or parents like to say, and back in my day, I had to walk to school. I had to walk 20 miles in the snow to get to school. I had to walk up the mesa. Well, now you have something to tell them and your grandchildren and children of what you've experienced and how you came to school. So there's just so much happening, I think, in 2020, and our prayers go out to everyone that's affected with the fires in Oregon and California, but just everything that's been happening. You're living history right now. And that's something to keep in mind, that in the history books, you will be talked about, your time, your era. And we all go through our challenges, and that's something to remember. Your parents, grandparents had their own challenges in their life. You have your own challenges. And we've all overcome and persevered it. And like you see there in the picture, with a smile. Don't forget, as you get ready to get online and you have your Zoom picture and you're getting all of your Canvas set up and you have the little pictures that you can show of yourself. We may look like the guy down below, but just find that best picture that you can and put it up for all of us to see. Sometimes our Zoom meetings will be audio only, and that's a wonderful time to just be as you are and wake up bushy-tailed and ready to go. If you got to show your screen, make sure you put on that pretty face and your best foot forward. It's crazy, isn't it, how we're starting the school year, and your teachers have been busy at work, as we've been telling you, and they're sharing things of how things are going and what we should be doing, and all the things you got to log on to and be aware of. And it can get a little overwhelming and confusing at times. And you think that, it's a funny picture, but if you look in the background and just all the work that was done, and that's what's happening behind the scenes here, is all of our teachers who are working like crazy, and you don't see the behind the scenes work and all the lessons that they're preparing, and they're doing the best they can, and we're all doing the best we can to get everything ready. And again, glitches will happen, but the work is there, and the work that everyone is doing is appreciated. And so please appreciate everything that's happening. Everyone is doing the best they can, and we expect of you to do the best you can. And please don't use that excuse. You guys are growing up in a technology age. You guys have an abundance of knowledge in technology. You guys do social media. I don't know if any of you do TikTok, but it's just a variety of different things that you guys know how to do. So it's kind of hard sometimes when you say, I don't know how to use the technology for distant learning. If you can do any sort of social media, if you're a gamer or anything like that, we know you are well and more than capable of doing it. So, it's just that dedication, that practice. It's important to learn these programs so that you are ready for the school year. Some don'ts. So kids, try to avoid being these type of students. Log into your Zoom meetings, please. Don't be the only one that's there. Teachers want to see you there. Support your teachers. Make sure you're into those meetings on time every week. Kind of funny how things sometimes reverse when you're on a spot in a Zoom meeting. In class, it's often talking and disruptions. And it can be a little bit weird when you're first starting out in meeting with your teacher and others online. Uh, you know, try to say something every now and then. Try to participate when the teachers ask you to participate. Don't be this person. Your friend tells you they had homework and you're going, what? What's going on? Make sure you're aware of your assignments. They're all there. Get everything in on time. Be a smart student. Remember, use your learning strategies, your testing strategies that you've learned over the years. Don't be like Patrick here, just picking any old answer. Take your time. Check your answers. Review. Do all the learning strategies that you have learned over the years that you can get the best grade possible. Remember, this is high stakes and you are working towards your grades. You got to have a passing grade to move on to your next grade level or to graduate. So it's very important that you do your personal best. Okay, don't be like Joey here from Friends. Okay, you will find all of your information that you need to on Canvas. I know every now and then you might go, where do I find it? But a lot of that information is in there. So make sure you're learning those, you went through those modules, those learning modules, they trained you how to do everything. And try to help relieve the stress of your teachers by not being that person that doesn't know where things are at. As a teacher, it's very hard work, can get frustrating at times. I've been there myself. You explain it the first time, you're all excited. Don't make the teacher have to keep repeating things over and over again. Our poor president, after 8 years, a little bit of background on the picture. The picture on the left is his very first inaugural address, his first year into his presidency. And the last picture is after 8 years and his 8th year as president of the United States. Okay, don't misinterpret what the teacher says. When the teacher says the homework is due, that's D-U-E, not D-O, all right? So don't be this person, our friend Leo. Because if you do that, and once you come back, the teacher will remember what you did. And sometimes as teachers, we can find ways to get back at you. Learning is challenging, and that's the fun part about learning. Sometimes it can blow your mind. Sometimes it's something new that you're learning, but there's always something great about when you learn something new for the day and you have it under your belt. And sometimes it may take a couple more times until you are successful in learning it. But there's wonderful things to know out there in the world, in all the subject areas that you're taking. So embrace that. You become a better person, you become knowledgeable, and you become someone that can handle things in a variety of situations in whatever career you choose and whatever path you choose. But yes, learning can be that confusing times at times. Consider that one that's posted there. Math, sometimes we go into our math class and we're looking like that. Okay, the only, the recommendations I give you, if you've got that look on your face, get help. There's tutoring hours being established this year. There's office hours that the teachers have. And then just ask questions to your teacher. So don't get that look of confusion in your face. Ask those questions, kids. There's nothing wrong with asking questions of your teacher to seek the help that you need. Social studies, okay? Don't be like Smudge here. Make sure you know your dates. Make sure you're studying away. Little science joke for you. Chemistry jokes are sodium funny. I slapped my knee on this one. Hey, even memes can be helpful. Here's a scientific method in meme form. We can't leave out our language arts teachers. The naysayers wrote to all the 2020 teachers, you're not strong enough to withstand this storm. And the teachers simply wrote back, you're. Hopefully you understand that. Eventually, students, we're gonna be back. And always keep that in mind. I know you maybe are missing interacting with your friends, being back in the classroom, interacting with your teachers. I know all the fun times that come with high school. I know all the food that gets snuck in. We know that, we see it, and we understand that that's part of school and it's part of having fun. And maybe one of these days, we will have a big party coming back and a big celebration, and we can't look forward to having you here again. Some ending on some positive notes. Just kind of read it there, what the father is doing. His daughter made that for him. And that goes for any person. And some of the words that were shared this week from the administration, from the teachers, you make the most of it and you grow in the direction that you want to grow in. And sometimes it's doing the right thing. And in this case with the father, and because of his love for his family, his daughter, he does this because he cares. And that's the same thing. The teachers are doing what they're doing and learning in all these new platforms and doing the best they can because they care. And we ask of you of that in return, that you think about those things. What can you do as a person to make yourself grow and become a better person? Just gotta end with this, just because you know Bob Ross, great, and who doesn't love baby animals? And Bob Ross, if you don't know him, he was an artist. He used to be on TV and teach people how to paint, and he was a wonderful human being. Stay positive like Bob. Look at the bright side of things. Think about your time when you were young and growing up and how innocent you were as a baby. Growing up and the enthusiasm you had. And there's still a lot to be excited about. There's still a lot to be happy about and positive about. Although sometimes the negative enters our lives, and at this time there's quite a bit of storm that is hitting us in a variety of different ways. Go back to that time, and it's exciting to see the elementary students and how excited they are about kindergarten and their first years, and just know that you've worked up to this point. You've accomplished a lot. Some of you accomplished 6 years and have just been promoted from the elementary schools. Some of you got promoted from junior high and now you're entering your high school years. Some of you have now been in school for over 10 years and now you're in high school, and seniors, you're ready to graduate. And there's so much out there in life that is ready and out there for you to take hold of. Talked about goal setting. Keep your goals. Remember that there's a bigger picture out there of who we are as people, our contributions to our community, your village, your clan, and all of those things that make you who you are. The messages that Mrs. Frederick shared with you this week about being the best you. And that is how this person lived their life, being the best they could with what they could contribute to society. And they made a lot of people happy. And sometimes you don't know what your purpose is on this planet, on this earth, in this lifetime, but everyone has a purpose. Everyone, you don't know what that is sometimes until you're way older. You know, it just comes to you at times, and you're gonna find that contentness. Even if you're not the happiest right now, you will find it. Life is good, and cherish it greatly because we care about you and we love you all very much. So enjoy your year, Bruins. Have a great one. If you have any questions, reach out to your principals, your teachers, reach out to my office, and let's have a good one. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Haha, let me know when the chairman comes on. I
Definitely.
don't see him on there right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and share. And I just want you to be aware, students, that you know that you are the center of everything that we do. All of our jobs as teachers, administrators, and everybody at this school, the reason that we're there is because of you. It's not about us, it's about providing all that we can to make sure that you get a good education. And as I remember as a teacher, it's also about teaching you life lessons, about really supporting you so you can not only fill your brain with knowledge, but that we try to guide you as people to live your life in a good way. And I just remember back when I was younger and how much influence teachers had on me, and that they influenced me in seeing in me the best, seeing the strengths in me and believing in me, giving me confidence, talking to me daily, sharing words of wisdom with me. And although you may not see that when you're young, later on it comes back to you in your mind of all these things that people share with you, and it sort of makes sense then. And you remember the people that were great influences. And that's why I think as educators, we stay as teachers because of the great influence we can have on lives. And so today I give a shout out to the teachers, and because they're there with you every day. You almost become a mother or father in the classroom because of all the students that you're guiding every day. So a shout out to the teachers. And I'd like to share my screen because some of the teachers put together videos. They took time to put together videos for you to share their welcome. And so I want to share those videos. And you know how we say for little kids, or just when I see somebody, you know, doing something amazing or funny, then we just all say, oh, just cute, you know. And so teachers can be cute too. I was watching the videos and I was saying, oh, just cute, you know, when I was playing the videos. So let me share some of those videos with you. Can you see this?
Okay, welcome, Hopi Junior, Senior High School students. My name is Kaylo. I will be the 7th grade social studies teacher, and I will also be teaching the 7th grade AVID and the 8th grade AVID this year. And I look forward to seeing you in my class. Welcome.
Hello, welcome Hopi Junior Senior kids. My name is Mr. Grass, and I'll be teaching the 8th grade social studies classes this year, and also the 8th grade reading lab. I'm originally from Oregon. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone down here in the hot sun.
Oh, I guess it's me, isn't it? I'm the 10th grade. Kids, hi, my name is Gerald Flood, and I'll be your geography and world history teacher. And my home state is the state of Oklahoma. And I'm from a small town, or actually out in the country, Okmulgee, Oklahoma. It's the capital of the Creek Nation of Oklahoma. And I'm looking forward to teaching you world history and geography. It's going to be a challenge for me. But anyway, it's a new adventure, so we're going to learn together. So looking forward to meeting you.
Hi, Hopi Junior Senior High School. My name is Ben Lawrence. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so go Steelers. I'll be teaching U.S. history this year for 11th graders. I'll also be helping out with the AVID course, and I'll also be working on teaching the Native American Studies course. So really looking forward to getting to know all of you this year. If you ever need anything, please reach out via Canvas or over email, and I look forward to meeting you all soon.
All right, that was the social studies department, and let me bring on the science department.
Hello, Bruins. Welcome to the school year 2020. This is the science department. We are anxious to start working with you. I'm Miss Honyete, and I'll be teaching biology, integrated science, anatomy and physiology, botany, and sewing. I'm looking forward to meeting with you online, or hopefully eventually in the classroom. I know this is new to all of us, but let's give it our best shot and let's help each other get through this school year. Have a good year.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hopi Junior Senior High School. My name is Grace Makiwa. I'm from the village of Masanavi. I am Corn Clan. I teach 7th grade science. I'll also be teaching reading lab and PBL as well. I'm excited for the new year to start and looking forward to meeting everyone. Let's have an awesome year. Go Bruins.
Welcome to 8th grade. My name is Mrs. Harrison, and I'll be teaching your 8th grade science class, 8th grade honors, and 8th grade reading lab. In my class, we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna learn a lot about science and reading and have fun getting to know each other. I look forward to getting to know you through the school year. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Ms. Rigyazi. I am the I am the biology and the chemistry teacher, and I'm originally from Tuba City, and I can't wait to meet some of you guys online. I can't wait to meet some of you guys in person when school starts, in-person school starts, and let's have a good year.
Hello, y'all. I am Mr. Harris. I teach environmental science and integrated science. Looking forward to a great year with each other, and just hop right on over to our classroom and get a lot of good things going on. Have a good year with all of us. Go Hopi Bruins.
All right, science department. And now I want to bring up a message from the ROTC.
Hi, my name is Sergeant Major Larry L.T. Newton Jr., AKA Sergeant Major, and I am the Army instructor here at the Hopi Junior ROTC Room Battalion Program. This is my 9th year as an Army GRTC instructor and my 4th year here at the Hopi Junior Senior High School. The mission of the Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, or GRTC, is to motivate young people to be better citizens. GRTC does not recruit for the military, rather it serves as a character and leadership development program for high school students. High school students enrolled in GRTC are addressed as cadets. GRTC is a 4-year course where your time in the program is identified by your LET level. In other words, if you're new to GRTC, you are what they call a LET 1. Our cadets really enjoy their time in the program with a plethora of extracurricular activities, such as color guards, drill teams, service learning projects, raiders, parades, and other meaningful support to our villages, communities, state, and the great nation that we live in. Again, My name is Sergeant Major Newton, and welcome cadets to the Hopi Junior Senior High School Army JRTC program. Go Bruin Battalion.
Okay, and then I'll put on one because the most important thing sometimes is when are the days and when is our schedule? When are the days we're gonna be at school and when are those days when we're going to be off? This is the right one, I hope. Oh no, oops. I think, oh right, yeah, that's right, oops. Sorry, okay.
Oh, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody out there is safe and sound and staying healthy. This evening, I want to give you a rundown of the academic school year calendar. We'll start with September. In September, we're going to have one holiday, that's September 7th. In October, we have no holidays, so we have nothing that holiday, no holidays I can see, so full school classes the entire month. For November, we have 5 early releases. That'll be the 5th and 6th. The first quarter ends and be an early release on the 6th. On the 9th, we start the second quarter. The 11th is a holiday, Veterans Day, and we salute the veterans. And of course, we all appreciate your service, keeping us all safe and protected. The 17th and 18th will be teacher parent conferences. And on the 25th and 27th is our Thanksgiving break. And then Thanksgiving on the 26th, and we'll eat a lot of turkey and sleep a lot, I suppose. But anyway, for December, we'll have a winter break starting the 21st of December, going through the 31st, and then Christmas Day. That is when Mrs. Claus comes, sees me, and visits for a while. The heck with Mr. Claus. Don't have time for him. Let me get up and let's see, December. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to December. I guess it's February in this next one. No, January. Folks, January, New Year's Day, New Year's will of course be on the 1st. We will return back to school on January the 4th. We'll have PLC Day on the 11th, Martin Luther King holiday on the 18th, another PLC Day on the 25th, early release on the 28th, and the second quarter ends on the 29th, and we'll have our early release on the 29th. Let's see, in February, the third quarter starts on February the 1st, Cultural Day, on the 5th, PLC Day, on the 8th, Cultural Day again on the 12th, President's Day on the 15th, Cultural Day again on the 19th, another PLC Day on the 22nd, and another cultural day that is a floating day, and that will be determined by the administration. Then that brings us to March. We will have a PLC Day on the 8th. The 15th through the 19th, we'll have spring break and another PLC Day on the 22nd. And then in April, a PLC Day on the 5th, where the first cultural day. On the 5th, PLC Day on the 8th, Cultural Day again on the 12th, President's Day on the 15th, Cultural Day again on the 19th, another PLC Day on the 22nd, and another cultural day that is a floating day, and that will be determined by the administration. Then that brings us to March. We will have a PLC Day on the 8th. The 15th through the 19th, we'll have spring break and another PLC Day on the 22nd. And then in April, a PLC Day on the 5th, early release on the 15th, that in the 16th will be the end of the third quarter. Another PLC Day on the 19th, and we have parent-teacher conferences, April 27th through the 28th. That will bring us into May. We'll have a PLC on May the 3rd, another PLC Day on the 17th, and we have Memorial Day, a federal holiday on the 31st. And then that brings us to June. On the 11th, we'll have an early release, junior high promotion, early release on the 14th, high school graduation, early release on the 15th, and the last day of school for students and staff and the end of the fourth quarter will be on June the 16th. Any changes to our academic calendar will have to be done by our administration. So they are the ones that you can contact to see if there will be any changes. Other than that, that is my presentation for the academic school calendar. And hope everybody stays safe and by all means, be happy. Talk to you later and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, so that's our teachers' little videos. There's some more that were developed and we'll put that on the website, okay? Okay, let's see here. Okay, Mr. Naha, do you see the guest speaker on there?
I believe so. Any of the governing board or chairman, are you on the line?
Okay, there's some in the waiting room, so let me admit and see. Okay, do we have any of the governing board or the chairman on the line? Okay, so I guess they are not on the line at this point, so I'm gonna take some time to, and I see her on the phone. We have the attendance clerk that we wanted to share a little bit of details about attendance, but it looks like she's on the phone right now. We have the chairman on right now. Okay, and Mr. Naha, I'll leave that up to you to introduce him. I just admitted him on.
Okay, so we'll wait a couple of minutes. Chairman Navangyama, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. I had a little bit of difficulty, so I am here now.
Okay, great. So before I go with my introductions with the chairman, and we did not purposely ignore it, but we do want to acknowledge that today is September 11th and 9/11. So we are aware that this is the anniversary of the tragic event that happened on this day. At this time, I'd like for everyone to take a couple of moments here to reflect, and we're going to have a moment of silence so we can all just have that time. Thank you. And we appreciate all of our emergency service individuals out there who continue to risk their lives for the safety and well-being of all communities, our law enforcement, our fire departments, and everyone else, our first responders, our people who work in the health services, the hospitals. Thank you for all your contributions. And we continue to remember this day and reflect on this day of how we at one time came together as a nation in a difficult time and made it through stronger and better. And same thing kind of what's happening right now, working together to be stronger and better. At this time, everyone, I'd like to introduce to you our chairman for the Hopi tribe, Timothy Navangyama, to provide a couple of words to you all as we begin to start our year for this school year. Mr. Navangyama, please.
Thank you, Mr. Naha. Good morning, everybody. Kwa amayuk piu na itut sa mga kapay na piu halay tiyaf. Tuwad hihin piu mga lavay tinako ya pidata at mo tiyo mga ahui piu tito kay wisko. Ito mapetem piu ahui tamala wisko. Tsanga umayan itaw makson to taka yaping waditan piu paasitang naksan ni itasco yaranga. So kwa lumatalong vai lol mahapi Hopi Junior Senior High School. First of all, I hope all of you and your loved ones are safe and doing well as we navigate through these very, very different times. My name is Timothy Nvangyelma, Chairman of the Hopi Tribe, and I'm honored to welcome all of you, our future leaders, our teachers and staff, and all of those that have been working around the clock to make sure this school year 2021 is going to be a success. I don't think any one of us could have imagined that this is how y'all would be entering the school year, right? I do want to take ourselves back. Let's take ourselves back to December 31st, 2019, New Year's Eve. While we were welcoming in the new year thinking, cool, man, we're going to make this next year a good one. But not too long into the new year, bam, COVID-19 hits. This pandemic comes out of left field and changes everything. This is definitely nothing anyone expected and something none of us knew much about, which immediately created new challenges for all of us. When I ran for chairman in 2017, I came into this without a political background and came into this as a community member and really took myself out of my comfort zone. I had friends and others that are close to me tell me, "You're crazy. This is the worst time to be running for chairman." Like many other tribes, Hopi definitely had its challenges, and that for me made it the best time to run for chairman, to take on our challenges and to work to make a change. My staff and I hit the ground running, really learning about these challenges and attacking the problems and working with everyone we could in order to find solutions and pass forward on issues. We've been fortunate in the fact that we have been able to get things moving and continue to do so. So I do want to fast forward to today. I knew things would be challenging, and as I mentioned before, and we've been taking those challenges head on, but the universe played a dirty trick on me, on all of us, basically. It said, "Tim, you seem to be doing okay, so I'm going to throw you a curveball and add just another little something to your plate." COVID-19, a pandemic at this level, is the last thing I ever imagined having to deal with, but it's our reality. And we're taking this head on as well and finding solutions to mitigate this situation. I wanted to share this with you because as students, teachers, and staff, you face these same challenges. COVID-19 has certainly presented its share of challenges to all of you in our educational system, especially you, our students, our future leaders. This is your reality as well. So I want to encourage all of you to stay strong, stay focused as you move forward to take these challenges head on as well, and find those solutions and creative ways to overcome these challenges in order to make your school year a successful one. One thing we need to remember and continue to remind ourselves is that this is nothing new to Native Americans, our indigenous peoples, and Hopi. Our ancestors have had to deal with many different types of illnesses and sicknesses. The difference between then and now is that they didn't have the science we have today, and their struggle to get past whatever plague or illness that they may have been dealing with, it's unimaginable. It was their resilience, their will to survive, and that will to overcome challenges placed in front of them that brings all of us to where we are today. That resilience, that will to survive, and that will to overcome challenges is with every single one of you. It is here. The fact that you all are here to continue to push through these challenges to achieve your goals is already a testament to your resiliency. Nothing related to this pandemic has been easy. So I encourage all of you again to stay strong. Lean on one another for help and support. And most importantly, continue to stay safe. Together, we can make the most difficult path easier to navigate. Thank you, Hopi Junior Senior High School. Myself and my staff, we continue to be here for you in any way we can. Ovia matuat kalyane, namitanat yalyane ma. Keep striving and keep reaching for the stars. Go Bruins. Kwakwa. Thank you, Mr. Naha.
Kwakoi. Chairman, thank you so much for those words of encouragement to our students and our staff. And I have to test, I'm working quite a bit with the tribe lately and with the chairman, and his words are true and honest that they are providing a lot of guidance to not only Hopi Junior Senior High School, but all of our local schools. And we meet with them every week. And this working partnership is a wonderful thing that's come out of a very difficult time and difficult situation. And we will continue to collaborate with one another. And we look forward to, as we get through this pandemic, other ways we can continue to work with the tribe. And so we appreciate everything that you've done for us and the tribe at this point in time. So thank you, Chairman.
Absolutely. Thank you all, and you all have a great day. Kwakwa.
All right. At this time, I believe we have one of our governing board members on the line as well. Ms. Palistiwa, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. So,
Okay.
boys and girls and faculty, I'd like to introduce to you our governing board vice president, Laurel Palistiwa. And she's been on the governing board now for a couple years and doing a wonderful job in supporting us as well with all the new technology. And I shared with you a couple earlier in the week, all the things the governing board has been working on behalf of the school. So ladies and gentlemen, Laurel Palistiwa, governing board vice president.
Thank you for the introduction, Mr. Naha. Welcome, students, Hopi Junior Senior High Bruins for this year. I know that, as the chairman had said, it is going to be a different year, and I'm sure difficult for everyone, not only you, but your parents and your family. Some of you have more than one student in a family, and the struggle with technology is going to be real for all of us. I would like to encourage you to do your best. Keep moving forward despite the challenges. The only way we can get through this is to help one another and ask for help when you need it. I would like all the students to understand that, you know, as a board member, not only me, but there's 4 other people. I'm sorry, 5. There's 5 other people that are representing your area. We are doing our best to provide the best education for you possible. We can only approve whatever the administration brings to us, and we have hope in our administrators and our teachers that they will follow through and do their best, and I know they are trying. We have some really good teachers there. We have some great administrators, and they are all working very hard to do the best they can for you. We're still trying to do our best to provide a good education for you despite what is happening. We all have hope that in the future, pretty soon, you can all come back to school. It is different learning from home because there's so many things that distract you at home, but try really hard to do your best. You are in high school now. Some of you have come into junior high now. So like I always used to say to my students when I used to work at the high school is freshman year is the first step in the rest of your life. Now you are making decisions that will affect your future. You are going to be making choices as far as classes, your grades, your attendance. All of this is going to affect your future. So just do the best you can. I have complete confidence in students. I have complete confidence in parents, and especially our teachers and our administrators. We're here for you. And I just want to let you know that we think about you. Every decision that we make at the board level is for our students first. We think of you first, what's going to help you. So good luck. And I wish you success in this year. And keep moving forward, Bruins. Always a Bruin. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Poliastiwa. Again, our governing board vice president, Ms. Poliastiwa, and they have taken a very hands-on approach to our planning for this academic school year, and there's still much more to plan. And as we begin to eventually, and keeping our fingers crossed, having you come back on campus and learning, and they're supporting you 100% along the way. So we appreciate all that you've done for our student body. Thank you. All right, so let's move on. We'll turn the time over to Mrs. Fredericks, and I think we have some wonderful guests that who are basically our family as well. So, Mrs. Fredericks, I'll turn the time back over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Naha, and thank you, Chairman and Laurel Poliestiwa, our Vice Chairman of the board, and thank you for your encouraging words. Next on our agenda, we have again some special guests joining us, and very important guests, because I think as Mr. Naha said, we're always Bruins here, always family together. When you graduate, you still become what's called alumni of the school, and you're always welcome back. And we encourage students, I guess, always telling students that when you go on and get your education, and in Hopi, we say that when you gain knowledge, when you go out there, then come back and share your knowledge, have a purpose of coming back and helping your own people. I know my father used to always tell me that, you know, you have also a duty to come back and help your people out in any way that you can without even being asked. And then we have some people who live in our community and become a part of us too as well, even though they may not even be native. We have adopted them, and they've become a part of our family too as well. And so I was contacted recently by a graduate, Daniel Lim, who graduated from here and was very successful, went on, and he's going to college at Dartmouth. And he contacted me because in the summer he had time. And when he went to Dartmouth, he saw that students, in order to be successful, they need to be good readers. They need to continue with the rigor of college so that they can be set when they go to school and not struggle. And so he saw that when he went to Dartmouth, and some of his fellow students in the summer, he was trying to get something together, and then this pandemic happened. So he kind of tried through Zoom meetings to try to get some students in the communities, high school students, younger students that would want to read with him and learn new vocabulary, and set up college mentors for students that can help them in encouraging them and showing them the importance of reading and education and vocabulary building. And so I want to welcome today some former students that have come back to share some words with you about how they were successful, how were they able to go on to college, what things helped them, and just to give you just a little background on where they're at right now. And that's just encouraging in itself, because we do as teachers want that for you. We want you to go on. We want you to come back and tell us your success stories. And so this morning, I'd like to welcome 4 individuals, and I'll call Daniel Lim is going to be the organizer here, but Daniel Lim is going to Dartmouth College. We have Aiden Fredericks, who's a graduate from Northern Arizona University recently in engineering. Betty Dewakaku, who's going to the University of New Mexico, and Vanessa Holmes, who's going to the University of Arizona. Okay, so let me call on Mr. Lim, and you can take over from here.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me good?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you for the introduction. I'm really happy to be here. But before I get started, I want to say a little bit about the venue project that this event is part of. So yeah, as Mrs. Fredericks just said, there are two things that I want to achieve through this project. One is help students become better readers. If you go to college and if you want to prepare for college, taking the ACT, SAT, all of them require very good reading skills. And on those standardized tests, the higher score, the higher chances of getting into better schools, higher chances of getting scholarships. So we thought it was very important, and we want to help you do that by getting you books, encouraging you to read them, and also helping you learn new vocabulary, which are very important as well. And a second goal is to give students a helpful resource for college. So if you sign up for the project, we are pairing you up with a current or very recent college graduate from different schools around the country. And yeah, you just basically some questions, and we believe that that's going to help you as you prepare for college. Yeah, and how you can get involved is very simple. Just email tutuvenuproject@gmail.com with your responses to the questions that you found on the flyer. And I believe you guys all have the flyers from Mrs. Fredericks. If you guys want the flyer again, just like let me know. You can text me or email me. I'll share my contact info at the end. All right, and going into the panel event. So how this is going to work is I'm going to say a question, and this is gonna be the question for us four panelists. And yep, I'm going to say the question, and whoever feels like they have a good answer, they want to talk about that question, is going to unmute themselves and just talk about it. And I think this is gonna go on for about an hour, a little more. Yep, that's going to be it. And I think we can jump onto the questions, or before that, actually, I'll take a little bit of time to introduce all of us again. Just to be sure that you guys know us. So I'm Daniel. I graduated from Hopi High back in 2017, and I'm currently attending Dartmouth, and I'm a rising senior. I'm studying philosophy. If you guys wonder what that is, I can tell you about it a little more later. And I'm currently planning to attend law school after I graduate. So yeah, that's going on. And I'm going to ask Betty to unmute herself and introduce herself real quick. Hello, Betty. Oh, it's a little, what do you say? Not too well.
So hello everyone, I'm Betty Dewakaku, and like Daniel, I did graduate in class of 2017, and I recently graduated with an associate in liberal arts from the Pennsylvania Institute, and I'm currently in a nursing program as a transfer student at the University of Mexico.
Betty, we're having a little trouble with your audio.
Okay,
the video is good, but we can't hear you too well. It's breaking up.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, that's fine, Betty.
Yes, that's fine, Betty. Okay. So my name's Betty Diwakuka. I graduated from Hopi class of 2017. And I went ahead and attended Southwestern Indian Polytechnic Institute, where I graduated with my associates in liberal arts. And I'm now a transfer student at the University of New Mexico in the nursing program.
All right, thank you, Betty. And Vanessa?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Vanessa Holmes. I graduated Hopi High in 2016. And after that, I went to Yavapai College. I graduated with an associate's in elementary education. And now I'm a transfer student, and this is my senior year at the University of Arizona. And I'll be completing my bachelor's in elementary ed with an emphasis in English as a second language. So the second language acquisition, sorry.
Thank you, Vanessa. And finally, Aiden.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Aiden Fredericks. I'm from the class of 2015. I recently graduated at NEU, NEU with a bachelor's in electrical engineering. Yeah, and I'm from the village of Quito. Yeah.
All right, thank you, guys. I think we can jump onto the questions now. So we divided the question to 3 different sections. So the first part is going to be junior high / senior high school. So we're going to talk a little bit about our experiences, going to the same school that you guys are going to. The second part is going to be about college, how we prepare for it, how we like it, stuff like that. And the third part is going to be post-college, post-grad. So like, what do we plan to do after with the college degree? All right, so jumping onto the first part. The first question is, what were the toughest things about high school for you, and how did you overcome it? And let me know if I have to repeat the question. Anybody can jump in, but I can go first. So that I think the toughest thing for me for high school was I guess balancing my extracurriculars and academics. So I participated in good amount of extracurriculars in high school. I played a sport every season. So I did like basketball, chess. It's a sport. You need to get a physical for that, and also track and field in the spring. And those things take up a lot of time. You're traveling on the weekends. You're going to practices every day, and on top of that, those things are really fun. Chess, basketball, track and field, they're really fun sports. I enjoyed all of them. And once I'm in the season, my mind would just be in that, and I just wouldn't want to think about anything else. Betty played basketball too. I think she might relate to me a little bit as well. So, but I just always have to remind myself that I'm not trying to become a professional athlete. I'm not trying to become a professional chess player. So my priorities are somewhere else, and that's in academics for me because that's what I want to do. But it's a constant fight. You always have to remind yourself, and also you always have to manage your time in a way that you prioritize academics. Especially for basketball, which is really time consuming for me. I can I'll be staying at the school until 6 p.m. 7 p.m. to wait for my practices. And until then, you have a choice. You can have fun with your teammates. You can just joke around. You can watch TV, whatever. But there's a second choice. you can sit in the corner and do your homework, which is not a fun choice, but it's a choice that I had to make sometimes, or a lot of times. So yeah, these small commitments and dedications that you show is really going to change how you approach your extracurriculars and your academics. But yeah, always like remember, always remembering what my priorities are and trying to get myself hustle for it. Yeah, I think just like my mind telling myself, I think that's how I try to overcome it. Anybody else?
Mine wasn't that intense. I kind of found a sort of like a balance between sports and academics, but my sports was more of like a motivation for me to keep up my grades. So that was like, I got to get this done and this done so I can play for Tuesdays and Thursdays games, like for volleyball, or to run on the weekend for track. But I think one of the toughest things about high school, I think it's just that pressure of like of going to a college or a university. You know, once like my freshman year, I felt that like there was like a plan that's already set for you on how to like achieve like a certain goal within your academic journey. And I had to learn about like what our loans are. There's different kinds of loans, and you know, all of that just kind of like built a lot of anxiety on me. But sports helped me like it relieved me from like all those stresses. So that's how I kind of overcame about it. And you know, high school, it's now that I like looking back, it's like kind of I'm glad that I had time for sports and I had time to have fun with sports. And I made, you know, having memories with friends and former classmates. And, you know, I would say those are my little stress relievers from like thinking about what's beyond high school. So that was just kind of one of the things that was tough on me. And you know, there was other personal experiences that I had to overcome with like with my mom. So you know, but we overcame that. That was like my senior year. That was like the most toughest thing about my senior year, was how can I balance with sports, with school, and you know, trying to take care of my mom at the same time was like one of the struggles that I had. But you know, I can't say that anybody, you know, experience the same thing. You know, everybody has different challenges, and you know, like it's really good to rely on your friends, and you know, it's good to talk it out between the whatever like is bugging you. So friends are a good way to overcome those challenges or tough things that you have.
So like Daniel said, I was in a similar situation with him. Extracurricular activities, I guess I was too involved now that I say it. I was doing sports, I was doing club activities, I was doing things in the community, and it was hectic, it was crazy. And like Vanessa said as well, sports was a way for me to get my work done, to make sure I get my work done so I'm eligible to play. I'm eligible to go on trips and many things. And I guess over the years, I just learned how to juggle it, make sure that I prioritize or remember important dates that are happening so I don't overlap activities that I do. And it was crazy, but I did it somehow. I don't know how I had enough energy to do that. And I guess just planning out helps you a lot. And as Vanessa said, your friends, make sure you surround yourself with the right people that want the same goals as you, that want to see you succeed as well. And when that happens, it creates a little effect and you guys all motivate each other's, or I guess basically help each other's get to the finish line. So that was kind of the hardest thing for me.
Do you have anything, Aiden? Or we can move on to the next question.
I think I think mine is similar to like everyone. I think my biggest issue during high school was time management. I had a bunch of extracurricular activities I was doing at the same time. I used to be in wrestling. I used to do chess club. I used to be in HJSHS, and I was in band class. And so trying to like juggle between all four of these things at the same time was a bit intense for me. I think that was my biggest issue, struggle in high school. And I had to at my actual junior and senior years, my grades were not as great as I wanted it to be. So for me to actually like improve, I had to actually drop a couple extracurricular activities, mostly like sports, wrestling, stuff like that, just to focus on my grades, to bump those up. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, thanks, Aiden. All right, let's move on to the next question, which is, did you always know that you wanted to go to college in high school? If so, how did you prepare for it? And if not, how did you manage to get to college without knowing your passion until later?
I'll go ahead and answer that. So me personally, I did know I wanted to go to college, and it was always something that I seen other people around me doing, going to college, getting their dream job, and that was always my goal: go to college, get good grades, go to college. And I did have help preparing for it. My freshman year, I got into this program out of NAU. It's called the Upward Bound program, and they basically paved the road for me. It's a great program. I would highly recommend it for those of you who are not too sure what you need to do or how to do things. They helped me get ready for ACT, SATs. They helped me fill out college applications. They also helped me do FAFSA, which opens on October 1st, just to let all you seniors know, make sure you get that done right away. And I attended a lot of college readiness programs. And one program that really helped me figure out what my major was the Harvard. I'm not too sure what it is, but it's from Miss Honioto, the Hopi to Harvard program, or medical program, I believe it was. But that program, a couple of students were able to fly out to Boston to go to Harvard, and that was really awesome. It opened my eyes a lot about the medical side of the health field, or I guess the health field, and it was cool. I can actually say I actually seen a human brain, which isn't something that I guess anybody wants to say, but I say it because I actually seen it, and learning how the body functions, getting a little preview of how city life is and living in the dorms. That helped me a lot with figuring out what I wanted to do in college and if college was really for me. So I would highly recommend looking into programs that the school provides, because they do provide a lot of resources. There's many resources there, and without the school or Upward Bound or the Harvard program, I honestly don't think that I would be here. So I just want to go ahead and thank the school, because you guys do provide a lot of resources for students to get where they can go.
Right, I can say something. Yeah, I think I always knew that I wanted to go to college, and that's mainly because I had this like weird like fantasy about attending a old, like mysterious, like Hogwarts looking, with like vineyards and everything on the windows. Like I just wanted to be in a cool place like that. That was cool for me for some reason. And yeah, and I guess in the United States at least, those old schools, they tend to be relatively like yeah, the older schools are like on the East Coast. So I knew that I just like wanted to, try living and schooling in a completely different place. And yeah, and I think participating in programs like Close Up, which I got to participate twice, once in junior high and once in high school. Like seeing and traveling to other places, seeing that the world is like bigger than what I imagined it to be. And and after seeing that world, not being intimidated, I was intimidated, but trying to get myself to think that this is something that I need to explore. So, and I thought one way to do that was going to a college, somewhere pretty far from me. And yeah, so I applied to a bunch of schools in the East Coast through this program called QuestBridge. Yeah, QuestBridge, I can talk about it a little bit more later, but it's a really useful resource for low-income students and minority students to get to different like Ivy League schools and liberal arts schools in the East and West Coast. Right, so yeah, so I did those things to explore. That's why I wanted to go to college. And how I prepared for it was, taking advantage of all the resources that I, could just get hold on to. Which was like Betty did, the Upper Bound program. I did that as well, which was really helpful. They just like teach you everything that you need to know about college, and they do that, throughout your high school, like from freshman year to senior year. And I wasn't able to do this, but I think you guys have the AVID program, which is helpful as well. Close Up program, it's going to help you see a bigger world. But and like Betty did, I think my brother did it as well. The Harvard medical program. There are resources out there. You just need to reach out for it. Yeah, and those things, and QuestBridge, that kind of set my mind into like, and that taught me more about in other places as well. And I'm gonna say this last thing it was just a habit that I had. I guess it's not something that I intentionally did, but I try to read books like as often as I can, and I would read books not just like easy ones, but like books that I like understand. That's like really ancient philosophers like Plato, Aristotle. Like nobody understands. I don't understand them like this day, but for some reason I just like try to read them because I knew that it was going to make me a stronger reader. And I guess from this experience of mine, I want to share it with you guys too, because I believe that just like reading on your own time, it's going to be life-changing. It's going to prepare you, and I think it's like reading and studying vocabulary. I think it's one of the best ways to prepare for college.
I personally kind of started thinking about college when I was in 8th grade. At my other school, I was in the AVID program. So it really taught me a lot about career opportunities, vocational school options, or, choosing a university that you would like to go. And, with that program, it really helped me understand a lot more about like how to apply for college, FAFSA, taking Cornell notes. And, that was a really good program. And, when I transferred to Hopi, at the time they didn't have that program, but once they started to inherit that program into the school, it made me really happy that, it's here, and, we we really needed like a program to help students, you know, have that understanding with applying for colleges, you know, what things that they need to apply for colleges and scholarships. So, and so that's kind of how it prepared me. I also did the IPHW summer program. That was a really cool and fun opportunity that I took because I also had an interest with the medical field, and that kind of gave me like a preview of how workers in the medical field do things. You know, there was different. You could go to different. What's it called? I don't want to say stations. The different departments within the hospital, and that was really interesting. You get to learn new skills. You know, the opportunities are there, and you know, it's up to yourself to make that decision if you really want to push yourself into something that you know, maybe that you don't know that you're going to be passionate about. So, you know, it's good to like test the waters a little and see what's out there for you. So those are really good programs that I took. I wish I did the Boston one, but I was a senior at the time, and I think it was for for the lower classmen. So I was like, oh darn. But yeah, you know, ask teachers too that are at the high school. You know, maybe they have some input about other programs that you could apply for. So that's mine.
Hello. I think for me, I always knew I was wanting to go to college, and so what I did prepare for was I took some summer classes, or not summer classes, summer camps on the side, in which we would go over over the FAFSA, some financial stuff, and courses like that. But I think from other people have been saying, like Upward Bound and stuff like that, programs like that also like help prepare you for college. But I think one of the big things too is like just calling over to your actual school that you actually want to go to. Talking to actual financial advisors over there, advisors too, actually provide a lot of help and actually tell you a lot about like their college specific like scholarships and stuff like that they have over there, and programs that are useful to actually help you get into the actual college themselves. For those people, yeah, I think for people that are having, I think the biggest problem for new high schoolers are like trying to actually find what you're passionate about. I think a lot of like high schoolers don't really know exactly what they want. And so I would suggest like just looking up stuff, taking like general elective courses, and just try to like dip your toes into the water and see what you're actually really interested into before you actually commit to something like a bachelor's for 4 years on a certain subject that you don't really enjoy. Yeah, so just call around, ask your professor, or ask the actual like schools. Yeah, and also talk to your high school teachers. They probably know good stuff about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Aiden brought up something interesting, and I want to say a little bit about it. So about passions, right? I think passion seeking is something you do throughout your life. I still do it in college. After getting to college, I changed my major. I don't know how many times, like 8 different times. Not even exaggerating. So this is something that you have to keep doing. You have to keep thinking about yourself. You have to learn more about yourself. What do I like? What makes me happy? Stuff like that. You got to keep asking yourself. But here's the thing though. I think some people might say, oh, like I don't know what I'm passionate about. So like, why am I supposed to try hard at school? If you have this kind of mindset, like it's completely fair, and I totally see where you're coming from. But I think that if you're unsure of your passion, you should be trying even harder at school, because you don't know when that passion is going to hit you. And when that passion hits you, I don't know, like end of junior year, senior year, you better be ready to carry on with that passion. And you cannot carry on without having to care about academics in your high school years. You know, you can't just be like, oh, I have a new passion in my senior year. Now I'm gonna try hard at school. It might be, yeah, you can still do it, I'm sure. But I think it would have been way better if you had, prepared yourself for that, right? So I guess this advice would apply more to the underclassmen. If you're a senior already, I'm sorry, but it doesn't mean you messed up. You have your chances and everything. But yeah, if you're underclassmen, keep preparing yourself for it. If you don't know your passion, keep exploring, keep trying hard at school. But with that, if you guys don't have anything else, we can move on to the next question.
I just kind of wanted to add in, it's not like with me, I thought I had a passion with the medical field, but once I took other classes that were like more of my interests, so like I really like kids and I really like teaching, like kids how to do like certain, and it changes and it's okay. It's totally okay if you're like unsure about what you want to do. It's completely okay, because I was in that position, and as seniors, you're like, oh my God, like I have to apply to here because they have like a really good program, or like I was like within the AVID program, I learned a lot about community colleges. They're affordable, way affordable than universities. And if you want to go to a university, by all means, go ahead, But like I took that opportunity of going to a community college first and then transferring to a university. So, and within your first year of like college, you're taking classes that are like your general ed classes. So it's just your basic like English, math, social studies, science, and then maybe the year later it's more towards of something that you really want. And it's completely okay. There's no time limit of like where you want to be at, like with there's that norm that people have, like, oh, I have to be a doctor within like 8 years, or I have to be a teacher within 4 years. It's okay. Like, it's okay to take your time. And even if you're like not sure, like so sure about right now, it's okay. It's completely okay. So that's why I have to say. So
Thanks, Vanessa. Anybody else, or we can move on to the next question. 3, 2, 1. All right, next. Next is how did you prepare for the ACT or the SAT? If you had to take them.
are you asking how I prepared for the ACT?
Oh yeah, like all of us.
Oh, okay. There's always the PACT, so that's like the previous test that you take before taking the ACTs or the SATs. Really, like, you want to like dive in within those books because they really help, and especially like practicing. That kind of helped me. I went to some of my math teachers to ask like, well, can you help me like solve this problem because I'm not too sure. And so that's kind of how I prepared it. It's like, I feel like when I was taking that test, I felt like that pressure, like you have to pass it or you're not gonna go to school or anything like that. It's okay if you if you feel that way, and you just want to take it in, and that's kind of how, that's just like a normal like feeling that you would get when you're taking a test, that you're feeling that immense pressure that you're getting from yourself and like these expectations that you have. And that's fine. Just really what I did was, I practiced a lot, especially with the written format. I tried doing like my own essays, and I kind of asked my English teacher to see if she can look over it and stuff, and she did, and she kind of graded me about it. This was just like on the side from like the rest of the work. So that kind of helped me to become like a better writer on writing, like for the writing assessment for the SATs and stuff. So practice helps.
I can say a little bit. So yeah, I didn't take the ACT. I took the SAT because I saw that ACT had a science section, and I don't like science at all. I just like, I just like math. I just like math and like English in high school. Science was always the toughest subject for me, and I just didn't want to have to deal with that. But I hear that's not too bad. So if you want to take the ACT, I totally go for it. But I did the SAT. The way I prepared for it was I took an entire summer just to prepare for the SAT. And that, but preparing for the SAT, I guess there are no really other ways other than doing the practice tests. So there are practice tests available. These are SAT, official SAT tests administered, years ago. Some more recent, some more older. And you just like go through them. I think if you join the Tutubeni project, we can give you more tips on this as well. But yeah, I think that's just about it. Doing the practice tests. But another thing you can do is you can keep reading. I keep coming back to this. What the SAT and the ACT are trying to test you are, how good are you at grasping concepts? How good are you at understanding text, and and using that text to solve questions, stuff like that. And also there's math, but talking about the reading section. But for that, just by reading, just reading complex books, even if you don't understand, just try them out. Yeah, just like with consistent practice of doing those, I think you can definitely put yourself in a good position, to go into these standardized tests. Betty or Aiden? Nope. All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, moving on. Let's move on to the next section of the questions, which is college. Yeah, so the question is, how did you decide on your major and minor, if you have any? Yeah, so like, how did you decide on what to study in college?
I can go first. So initially I wanted to be a radiologist. I really like science. I love science. And I was just like kind of, huh?
What, radiology?
Radiology. I like the human anatomy. I like learning about the bones, and like, that was like something I thought I had a really deep passion about. And it's still there, but it didn't hit me until I was probably doing my I had a job which was a teacher assistant at the enrichment center at Yavapai. So I had an interest in teaching, but it wasn't really there at the time, but once I start working with the little kids and the toddlers and the preschoolers, I really enjoyed that environment of being with them. And I was singing a song, I'm pretty sure a majority of you guys know, is the Mosa song, and I was singing that to them. And when I was singing that, I just saw the baby's head just look up, and then they're like, again, and I was like, okay. So once I kept saying that song for like a good week, they caught on. And at first they were humming it, and then they were babbling, like they didn't say all of the words, but they kind of like guessed what I was trying to say. And then the last part was like they were singing along with me, and that really hit me. I'm like, oh my God, like these kids don't know anything about my culture or about the language, but that just kind of like, wow, that I like had like that moment of like, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I think I know what my passion is. And I really, there's like this part of me that like I really want to revitalize like our language, and and our traditions is like very important to me. So, and that just kind of like, well, if I can help have like a toddler sing a Hopi song, that what else I can do. And like I can teach them this, and learning about the development and the just like the whole teaching processes of like within the elementary education field. And that really pushed my motivation of becoming a teacher. And then so there was so many things that I really grasped on within that moment. And then once I completed my my associate's degree, I found a program. It's called the Indigenous Teacher Education Project. It's called ITEP. With at the University of Arizona, once I looked more into the requirements and the benefits of like being part of this program, and it was more towards something that I wanted to pursue as a teacher. So it's like in a way of indigenizing education at the elementary school or at the elementary level. We're utilizing the indigenous knowledges within our teachings. And with me growing up and like my experiences, I really love being who I am, and I really love the traditions. And I learned a lot more when you're using like traditional knowledge as like a reference to your teaching. So that kind of really pushed me more to become a teacher. So, and that's how I decided to be an educator. And I am very fascinated by how kids can acquire a second language, and so that's why I'm going for my emphasis in. So that kind of meaning like a minor in second language acquisition. So.
I can go next. So, mine's happened when I was young. I remember, I believe it was like my first or second, when I was in first or second grade. My grandfather became ill, and seeing his nurses come in and seeing him go through what he went through motivated me to want to be in the medical field or the health field. And at the time, I didn't know what I wanted to be. I want to work with kids, so I don't know if I'm going to become a pediatrician. There are so many things that I wanted to do, but I couldn't narrow it down. And so when it came time for the Harvard program, like I said before, the Boston, going to Harvard Medical School, learning about the body and how it functions. And that helped me figure out that I either wanted to become a nurse, a doctor, or I was down to those two things. And I remember, I'm not too sure if it was my sophomore year or my junior year in high school, I took anatomy and physiology in Miss Hanyota's class. And that class, it blew me away. It was like all the different tissue types, all the, like, I guess the bones, as Vanessa said, I really got into the body, and it was, I'm gonna say this, but it was crazy. That I loved that class. I didn't want, when the semester was over, I was sad because I couldn't be in that class anymore, and I just wanted to keep learning more and more about the body. And the way she taught that class was awesome because she had a passion. You can tell she had a passion for it. And when you meet those type of teachers, it influences you. You learn a lot more than you ever thought you could. And just seeing the diagrams, I'm not too sure if you guys had her class yet, but the little skeleton body in her class and dissecting a worm, a pig, it's crazy because you never knew that if you move your finger here, what else is all moving in your body? Like your brain made sensor to your body or told your body to make the finger move, and it's crazy. And now that I finally figured out that I want to be able to help people, I want to be able to learn how the body functions, because if someone becomes ill or something happens around me, I want to be able to, I guess, respond to help somebody, be able to say, oh, I know what to do, or here's something that I learned that you can do to make sure that they'll be okay. And now that I'm now in my nursing program, a lot of those things help me a lot. Being in Boston, seeing the brain, seeing a sheep's brain, or even a little tiny squirrel's brain, or a mouse. It was crazy seeing the different functions of certain organs or tissues. And while in Boston as well, we were able to be in a simulator, I believe it was, and we got to practice on the patient, or asking them, what's your symptoms? How are you feeling? What did you do today? What did you eat today? And it made me realize that I'm happy that I was able to get out of my shell. I'm able to talk to people comfortably, and being in that program helped me a lot. And my major is now nursing. And even though I took Miss Honyota's class, I don't know how many years ago, I still have the binder she gave us. I still have every single thing from that class, and it helps me learn. And even when I was at SIPI, I asked her, because I don't know why, but I couldn't remember significant figures. And so what I did was I reached out to her, asked her, can you teach me how to do this? Even though she's not my teacher anymore, but she still was able to help me, and her ways of teaching helped me learn it through a different way. And I really want to give thanks to Miss Honyota because of her class and everything she did in her classes. And one thing I always remember in chemistry class was the gummy bear sacrifice. If you guys ever did that that experiment, if not, you have to do it. It's crazy and it's cool. I mean, the human body is amazing. You don't even know what the human body can do. So that's how I learned, decided on my major, was just because of her class and the Harvard program.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. For me, I always had like this innate interest in tech, into the actual tech, techie stuff, and I always had like this interest in like trying to figure out how things work and how I can make things better and stuff like that. And so engineering was kind of like a natural thing for me that I wanted to go into. For me at first, though, I really wanted to actually start into aerospace first, but after a while, I kind of thought to myself that was kind of like a niche thing to actually kind of try to do. And so so afterwards, I kind of wanted to go into like one of the major fields, the two being like either electrical or mechanical. And I think it came down to more of like a coin flip than anything else. I kind of wanted to, I kind of like both at the same time. So I just ended up picking electrical, going down that field. I guess if I look back at it now, I could have gone to either one of them. That would have been fine. But yeah, electrical seemed like the most interesting and kind of like the most like marketable skill so far because of because of the rise of technology and an increase of like computers and stuff like that. And so yeah, I did electrical engineering. What really solidified me in choosing this major was actually taking my internship over in Oregon, working at Intel. Working over at Intel and having been able to actually work on the huge like PCs, not like a desktop PC you would get, but like actual like huge server farms they would test on. And I was given the opportunity to actually perform tests and validation testing and functionalities on the actual PCs. And that really hit my interest. And I think that's really like kept me going at electrical engineering and why I wanted to keep going at that. There was like computer science as well. I guess that would have been another field I would have wanted to go into. Understanding how like software works and how practical it can be. That's also another interest of mine, but electrical engineering ended up becoming my main focus. Yeah, and so that's my part.
Yeah, for me, I think similar to some of Vanessa's interests, like language revitalization, bringing back our language, and also, in education. I had interest in those two things. And going into college, I was thinking about majoring in education or like linguistics, to gain the knowledge and and to come back with some of our community members and and working for better education, better and for language revitalization out here. Yeah, those things are still my interests, but I decided to major in philosophy. So what philosophy is just, it's a really weird subject. So philosophy deals with questions like, what is good? How should you live? How should you treat other people? How should we set up our government? It explores really abstract questions like that. What I mean by abstract is it's all in the head. It's all ideas, and you use like logic and like reasonings to develop on these ideas. And yeah, and depending on where you get what kind of conclusions you get from these abstract ideas, your actions change, your perspectives change. So I think for everyone, it doesn't matter whether you study philosophy or not, you're doing philosophy in some way. You are making decisions based on certain assumptions, certain beliefs about the world. And where do those beliefs come from? I mean, it comes from all over the place, but it's philosophy is about exploring those beliefs. Why do we believe certain stuff, and why should we believe in certain stuff? So it's this like really abstract subject, and a lot of people ask like, how can that be useful in our like real life? How can learning philosophy like help us, like help our community, stuff like that? And I admit philosophy is not like a noticeably practical subject. Unlike what Betty and like Aiden, Vanessa's doing, they're all like material. Whenever you learn something, you can like apply it, you can see it happen in real life. Betty can heal people, Aiden can do stuff with computers that I don't know about, and Vanessa can be in schools and teach you. But I think, but for philosophy, it's less obvious than that. But I think philosophy is about thinking about the bigger framework, that all of us live in. And I think it's very important. It's important for, I think, indigenous people to actually learn Western philosophy too, because the history and even today, it's a struggle. It's a struggle between two worlds, and it's a struggle between the Western philosophy and the indigenous philosophy, the indigenous traditions, religions, worldviews, right? And for this semester, I'm in a class called Indigenous Perspectives in Environmental Justice or something like that. So it deals with the indigenous perspectives in dealing with real problems that we face today. So right. So, and because I'm interested in stuff like language revitalization, education, which are all like shaping our community in some way. And I just thought that without thinking about the bigger framework, I just didn't feel satisfied in doing the more solid stuff, I guess. I don't know if I'm making sense right now, but we can talk about it later. If you join the Tutubeni project, here comes my ad again. But yeah, second reason that I'm studying philosophy is philosophy is actually pretty practical in some sense, because in philosophy classes you're reading really difficult texts written by old people and like some new people, and you're trying to understand and digest these difficult texts. And what that does to you is it helps you become a better thinker, helps you become a clearer thinker. It helps you dissect what other people are saying. And also it helps you become a better reader, helps you become a better writer. And I think all those skills are very important in whatever you do. I think even if you go into STEM, you are going to have to write, you are going to have to read. And especially because I am interested in going to law school, right? And for law students, reading and writing, in difficult fashions are pretty important. So philosophy is actually a really practical major for me to prepare myself to go to law school. Yep, that's my long response. All right, moving on to second question. So what kind of jobs can you get with your major? I think we already said this a little bit, but yeah, I think it'd be nice to say it again.
So mine is obviously education, so teaching. So a teacher. You can also I could also have like an interest of becoming like an advisor as well. So like a counselor. There's another part of like being a teacher is, you're not just only teaching like, the standard content, all of that, you're actually teaching them about how it's kind of like how life works in a way. Once you have that, connecting with your students is really key of like how to bring passion out of them. Those are like the silent jobs that are like there as a teacher. So because what I learned is like, connecting with your students is key, and you want to help them, become academically successful, but you also want them to be successful in anything that they want to pursue in. And so, that's kind of what their other job is. And also like kind of bringing the community together. You have, as a teacher, you have to look at resources outside of your community walls or within your community. Like there's so many things that you can do as a teacher. And I thought that was very like eye-opening for me. Like I don't only want to teach them to learn and to be really good at math or science. I want them to learn about like how to be a good person, how to learn like respect and anything like that, but as like an indigenous person, you know, I want them to learn more about their culture, more about their identity, how to strengthen their identity and those knowledges that tie in within themselves. And, you know, that's kind of like what the job, my job as a teacher that, you know, that I want to do. So, yeah.
Mine is pretty simple. A nurse. And I'm actually not really too sure what else kind of job I can get. I guess I'm just so set on being a nurse, registered nurse, or who even knows, maybe I'll even become a scrub nurse. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for philosophy, I think a lot of people who study philosophy, they just want to stay in the field and study more philosophy, so they become professors and they work at universities. But I totally see like other people who go into different fields though, because like recruiters from different fields, different companies, they are looking for like diversity in like majors as well. And they are looking for, you know, is this person like a teachable person? Is this person like smart enough to, you know, like understand the things that the work is going to require? So I think like philosophy definitely prepares you for those things. So I definitely see people, you know, going to like different jobs as well. I wouldn't say there's like a single field that philosophy majors go into, but another thing is like philosophy majors like go into like law schools and grad schools often, and that's what I'm trying to do as well.
Okay, electrical engineering is a very broad job range. In electrical engineering, there's like four main aspects or four paths that electrical engineering can go into, and one of them is into power systems, where we talk about power infrastructures and moving electrical power to different housings, facilities, and stuff like that. And power system doesn't necessarily mean like actual like big grid power lock. It can actually be like electronics as well. For your television, managing the power in that, CPUs or your computers, managing power to the different parts of the computer. And second aspect of it is communications. This one's a big one. This is going into like wireless signals, like RF signals, radio frequencies, Bluetooth, internet, stuff like that. Everything that has that's wireless is considered communications. Number three would be digital. That is the digital components and everything runs like your CPU, like your CPU, RAM, your computers, your smartphones, stuff like that. Anything that's like binary is considered digital, and you can go into that. And the fourth main aspect is R&D, or research and development. Research and development is like the hardest part for most electrical engineers to get into, because it requires so much dedication to actually for one specific field, and so many years to actually get into that. You would need to spend a lot of time in the universities on campus and talking with your professors on this. And all four of these main paths are actually within the spectrum. So it could be like an example would be like a power and communications, where you're designing, where you can design power system for high frequency radio towers, or it could be digital power, working on power systems on computer systems and stuff like that. And or yeah, research and development can go on every single one. Depends on what you want to like work on specifically. But yeah, electrical engineering itself is a very broad topic, and you can apply it to basically most things in the world right now. And so yeah, you can basically find most any job that out there that needs electrical work. Yeah, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, thanks, Aiden. Let's move on to the next question. which is, what is the toughest thing about transitioning from Hopi High School to college? Yes, you can share if you have any advices on that.
I'll go ahead and go. So my first transition wasn't really hard because my mom found a summer bridge program to a tribal college here in Albuquerque, Southwestern Indian Polytechnic Institute, or SIPI for short. And I attended that program, and there I got to meet a lot of people. It is a tribal college, so everybody there was Native American. And at the end of the program, I found an interest in Albuquerque, the city of Albuquerque, the school. So I went ahead and changed my path, I guess you can say, because my initial path was to go to NAU. And instead of going that route and staying in Arizona, I went ahead and took a different route. I came to New Mexico while the most of my classmates went that way to CCC, NAU, ASU, U of A, and I came this way. And that the campus at SIPI is very small. It's really, really small. It's probably as big as the campus at the high school. So it wasn't a hard transition. There, like I said, a lot of Native Americans, so I got to meet a lot of people from the surrounding pueblos here, people from Alaska, North Dakota, and it was just, to me, it was like just being at the high school. Everything was waived, my tuition, everything was waived. So it wasn't really too hard on the budgeting side, I guess you can say. And I was literally able to get my degree for free. I didn't have to pay 1 penny just because of my academics. So the transition there was smooth. And coming to UNM, it's a little bit, I guess you can say, not really hard, but hard, because I didn't tour the campus, I guess. So my advice was make sure you tour the campus that you want to go to. And so now I'm pretty much, I guess, lost, not really lost. And it was kind of hard because coming here to back to New Mexico, we had to quarantine. Out-of-state students had to quarantine for 14 days. And I didn't really get the ability to walk campus. Just the other day, I got lost walking to the bookstore. So I guess my advice would be reach out to opportunities. Make sure that when you see an opportunity, if it will make, if it'll help you save money, save a lot of things. Going to SIPI, I basically saved, I don't know how many thousands of dollars, and to get my degree for free. Just letting you guys know, you seniors out there, there is tribal colleges, NTAU, here, SIPI. I highly recommend coming to SIPI because like I said, I did play sports, as most of you guys do. And when I came to SIPI, I met all those people. I met people from Pinyon, Monument Valley, Chinle, Sanders, and it felt good to be able to get to be around, I guess, my own people, Native Americans. And I got to learn a lot about many people's cultures. And I guess don't really be afraid to leave home would be my advice too. I came to a whole different state, which is fine. It's not too far, but it is still kind of far. So I guess that would be my advice. Make sure you tour your campus, make sure you talk to your financial advisors to help you make a smooth transition. And on the high school side, I would say to talk to your and teachers, because they have a lot of connections. You don't know who they can set you up with to talk to about, I guess, basically your campus that you're going to. So that would be my advice. And don't be afraid to, I guess, veer from your path that you initially set. So there's always changes happening, so you just gotta flow with it.
Mine was kind of similar to Betty's. I had a smooth transition to Yavapai because, well, I used to live in the Prescott region area, so I was very familiar with the campus, but take advantage of that tour experience, because when I transferred to U of A, I didn't know how big that campus is. So, but one of the toughest thing about transitioning is I never thought I would ever rely on an agenda planner. In high school, I never really bothered with my planners and that the school distributes out to you for free. Now you have to pay. So take advantage of that. Your planner or your agenda is like your best friend, because they have everything that you wrote on there, like class assignments that are due, meetings that you have to attend. It sounds like kind of like, oh, I have to write all of this stuff. Do it because that's your best friend and it will be with you no matter what. But I think with the people that I was surrounded with, it wasn't with people that I could relate to. There were mostly Anglos that were at my school, and it was kind of hard to kind of relate to them in a way, especially when it comes to topics such as social justice issues, and they were very vocal about it. So those are the things that that I kind of wish that I had someone who was like me, that we're able to talk about things like that. But I built friendships with other people from all across the world, and you get to know them, you learn about their culture, you learn about a lot of things that where they're coming from, and that's okay. And when I transferred to U of A, I mostly like to be with the Native American Center or with the students and learning more about their culture, especially the Tohono O'odham students. They were very welcoming, and learning more about who they are, and that was such a great experience because I learned how to dance to Chicken Scratch. There was so many opportunities that you might think might be challenging, but just take those challenges, and I think with financially, tribal scholarships, those are key. Those really help you a lot, even in scholarships just in general, but tribal scholarships helped me a lot. It covered a lot of my tuition costs when I was at Yavapai. So if you're gonna apply for ONISFA, the Navajo Nation Scholarship, theirs don't end till November, so that's a date to remember. And even applying for any type of scholarship, there's so many scholarships out there that you can look for, and as little as $40 or $50 or $100, it will help you out a lot. So so those are the things that that helped me advance or helped me deal with college. And I think another toughest thing is that I kind of was a really shy person during my classes, so I don't really like to talk. But it's good to know that the professors are they're there for you. They really want to be there for and help you with your success. So take advantage of their office hours, even if like you have to like question, if you have like a question about like an assignment or whatever the lecture was about, they're willing to help you. So that's one of the toughest things about transitioning to college.
Yeah, for me, I think the toughest things were, I guess, three things. One is I was like really socially awkward when I first went to college. I think that kind of had to do with like my somewhat unique identity, because you know, I came to Hopi from South Korea, like when I was in 4th grade. So I can't really say I'm like a full on like international Korean student. I'm definitely not it. At the same time, am I like a Korean American who's like raised in New York City or Los Angeles? Definitely not that. I'm a res boy at the same time. And also at the same time, you know, I have time, you know, living here. But no, still like I'm not like a Hopi person by blood. So I guess like I had this like really unique identity thing going on for me, and this is something that I keep exploring. But when I came to college, right, like there are no other students who are Asians and who are also, you know, have experience living on the Hopi reservation or other reservations. So I couldn't really find a friend group that I can really stick with, I guess. And that was really hard. My freshman year, I didn't really have people who I could call like they're like my best friends. And second struggle was it's called like the shoot, what was it called? Imposter syndrome. It's called imposter syndrome. So when people get to college, you know, they all want to appear like perfect. They all want to appear they're like smart. They all want to prove that they belong to that college. And so people with insecurities, you know, tend to have those kind of things. And I had a whole bunch of insecurities, you know. One, you know, I didn't have really friends. Two, like classes are really hard for me. And I was aware that, you know, I was coming from a rural high school. I didn't go to like these fancy private schools, these fancy international schools that like some of these other rich kids like went to, you know, and that kind of like made me think like, oh, am I like good enough to compete against these kids? So that was the second thing. And yeah, that went on for a while. And third struggle was like academics. Like college is like definitely tough on academics. It's going to throw you like a bunch of readings. You're gonna have to write essays, like essays that you know, types of essays that you don't really get to write in high school. So there are these three struggles, and how I overcame was, you know, one thing, you just got to stick through it. It's like everything just gets better, you know, like sophomore year, later in freshman year, sophomore year, I make friends, you know, like my unique identity that, you know, that prevented me from making friends actually allowed me to make even more friends, because like I'm not like in a certain category. I get to meet like a whole bunch of different people and like try to connect with them. So yeah, things get better, you get used to it. And also with imposter syndrome, you know, you just got to keep believing in yourself. You know, if you are at a college, you know, it doesn't matter how you got there. You know, the college let you in for a reason, and that reason is a valid one. Like you're there for a reason. You're good enough. You're capable of learning. You're capable of picking up. So I just had to keep like you know, telling myself that like, but and it happened to be true. You know, my year, you know, I become better at school. I know I can communicate with professors better, with friends better. I can write better. You know, everything just happens. You got to stick through. You know, and third struggle, my academics, you know, that happens. You know, you get better at it with time too. So I think my advice for it is you know, colleges, it's going to throw you different struggles, different hardships. you're gonna have to expect that. But don't be intimidated because you can go through it, definitely. Like I said, if you're at a college, you're there for a reason. Keep searching for yourself, keep learning more about yourself, just keep going through it. And Betty and Vanessa cover some of like the financial stuff too. Yeah, so I'll talk about how I manage my finances with college, I guess. So like Dartmouth, with other like schools in the East and West Coast, they're really expensive. Like every year it costs like $70,000 a year. It's something I can't afford, my family can't afford. But here's a good thing. I think it's a misconception too. I think people think, oh, because like these like more competitive schools, because they're expensive, I probably can't go there. But the good news is like a lot of like these big schools, they give out like huge financial aid packages. So especially if you're coming from a low income family like me, college is gonna look at you. Oh, he's a really good student, but I guess he can't really afford us. But well, no problem. Like we got a lot of money for students, so we're just gonna give you scholarships like with ease. Like I didn't have to apply for like these like rigorous scholarship programs or anything like that. They just look at you, they look at your status, and they determine whether you need the money or not. So if you're in that shoes, and you don't even have to be low income, like if you're like mid income, they're gonna see your needs, and they're gonna give you as much as money that you need to get through college. So me being aware of that I think that's why I wanted to like apply to like bigger schools that had like more money for financial aid, so that I didn't have to worry about scholarships. So yeah, and another thing you can apply to big schools here is the Quest Bridge program that I mentioned earlier. It's a QUEST, Quest, and Bridge, like a bridge, Quest Bridge. You should look it up. I think you apply as sophomores or juniors. So I think you should look out for that. And with that, what that gives you is it just tells you about like these schools around the country. They help you apply to those schools, and then when the schools accept you, they're gonna see that, oh, this student is a QuestBridge student. So, and what that tells the student is you are a qualified, a potential student to be there, and that's going to make the colleges give you even more money. So yeah, that's something to look out for financially.
I also want to add, if you are concerned about like the academic workload and stuff, like when you're coming up with these obstacles, like how am I going to proofread, like my paper, or, I struggled with this one test, how can I be more successful with it than the next one? Take advantage of like tutoring, because that really helps you a lot. U of A, they have free tutoring sessions, so they kind of range from like for like 15 to 30 minutes, and they also have like tutoring of like how to do a resume and stuff like that. That's also really is very helpful. I know at Yavapai they have a tutoring center, and it's online too. So there's so many resources on like campus and online as well. So taking advantage of those will really help you a lot with with writing or with reading or math. So, and or you can rely on former teachers like Betty did, and I did that with one of my math courses. I asked Laverne, Mrs. Lumakima, about a certain math problem, and she really helped me a lot. So just a little shout out. So, you have so many resources here, even with like high school teachers, they're there to help you, and they want to see you success or to see you succeed. But like, take advantage of those, because those they will really help you in the long run.
Yeah, I'm gonna add a little thing to that. Yeah, like seeking for different help resources is really important. And I think it helps you. What helps you do that better is like it's sometimes you gotta admit that you're bad at something. I think that's really hard and difficult to see for all of us. So you gotta like determine what am I bad at? Oh, I'm bad at writing. I don't think I'm good enough of a reader or writer to pass this class. You got to confront that first, and after that, like don't be afraid of showing your weaknesses to others, like even your friends, professors. Like you got to open up. Like I am bad at this. I want it. So attitudes like that kind of attitude helped me a lot too. And yeah, do you have anything to say? Topic.
Oh, hello. I think for me the hardest thing about transitioning to college was the lifestyle change. This is probably for most is probably like the most time you'll be like the most independent. And with that independency, you'll be everything is on you to actually plan on everything, and you have to like plan out your entire you need to plan out your entire schedule around your work and stuff like that. A lot of it is time management. I'm not sure if this is for my degree specific, but in order for me to actually be successful at your major, you need to plan out your day. You need to plan out your time and what you're gonna do. Otherwise, you're just gonna get overwhelmed by the coursework and you're gonna get overwhelmed by the coursework, and you're never gonna like completely finish it. And that's the biggest and that's my biggest thing. Like you have to plan out your day. Plan out your day to actually finish your coursework, to be able to get down your exams, your quizzes and stuff like that, and make sure you have enough time to study as well, and also maintain your sleep schedule and keep that up. I guess the other thing would be like, with independence too. You're gonna have to, no one's gonna be holding your hand on that. You're not gonna need to be looking up your resources, resources to your own personal stuff, asking questions, asking around. There'll be asking around and stuff like that. Don't be afraid to speak up to your professors and stuff like that. Ask questions. If that was like if I could go back in time and change one thing from my original start, was to ask more questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. In order for you to become great, you need to become the Joker first. And so you just have to accept that. You just gotta accept that you're not gonna be good at anything you start off at. And so it's okay to ask questions and ask people for help and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I think we're getting close to 11, and I guess the third section, where we talk about like post-grad, post-college stuff, I think we kind of did that. So I'm gonna say that we covered all the subjects, but to close it out, I think I'll ask all of us to give a really short piece of advice to junior high students, second to freshman and sophomore students, and thirdly for the junior and senior students. And then I think we can end this section, and I'll say a little bit more about the Tutubenyo project at the end too. Well, I can go first with the advices. For junior high, students, you guys, I guess, don't have to worry too much about like college and like money, all that stuff yet. But just keep reading. Just keep reading. That's the best thing you can do, I think, to prepare for high school and college. So that's for junior high students. Keep reading. Freshman, sophomore students, keep reading and keep up with the academics. High school, is going to influence, affect, shape your course of life. if you're freshman, sophomore, your life began and high school is gonna matter. So just beyond that mindset, care about schoolwork and read. And junior and senior students, keep caring about schoolwork, keep reading, and 3, do some research. Look at colleges. Reach out to us. I think all of us are very available for and willing to talk to you guys. Research colleges, how to do well on the SAT, stuff like that. Just keep learning about it. That's it for me.
I can go next. For junior high students, it's not a bad idea to like see what you would like to go, like, oh, my dream college is to go to Oregon or Washington or Dartmouth, Yale, those are like dreams. And, there's nothing bad about dreaming about that. And then, you're barely like starting out of what you would like to do. And once you transition to high school, this is kind of like where you want to pursue in whatever you would like to do. And as for freshmen and sophomores, I don't know how I would advise, but I just know that the universities and colleges, they look at your transcripts at the start of your sophomore year. So right from your sophomore year is when you like kind of want to like persuade them like, oh, I got really good grades, I mean, you should get good grades no matter what, but like, and it's not, I think this is kind of where you should start looking into more of like, the colleges that you really are kind of more serious about. And I think that's like a good way of like a good start. And there's also another option of like vocational schools. I think those are another good resources or a source or a good way to, to find jobs or anything like that. I think that's kind of more towards like junior and seniors. But junior and seniors, this is kind of the time where you have to like kind of buckle down a little and see what you really want. But, there's no pressure at all. High school should be your greatest experience. You're gonna want to, like, looking back now, like, I wish I kind of did more, like a little bit more fun, or, not being so hard on myself when I was like a junior or a senior. Those are like your best times where you don't have to worry about paying rent or like paying for like your tuition or anything like that. This is your high school year. You want to make it the best as much as you can. But senior year is kind of where you like start to look at FAFSA, FAFSA deadlines, scholarship deadlines. There's so many opportunities out there in the world. And it's okay to change, it's okay to leave, and it's definitely okay to come back. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. So maybe you have an interest in art, you can become an art major, or there's so many things out there in the world that you would love to do and what you're passionate about. And it's okay if you're not so sure now. So that's just my advice. And yeah.
Okay, Daniel, we're gonna have to wrap up pretty quickly. So if the last two could share their views pretty quickly, and then we'll release the students out to lunch. And we got another presentation in the afternoon, but you guys are doing great.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and go. I guess just in general, overall, don't procrastinate. Make sure to get your work done. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to do that. Get involved. And I guess not really just pertaining to the students, but everybody, a little project I did. Last trimester was I interviewed my soul, my grandma, and just a little something I wanted to share with everybody. And what she said really hit me, and I'm pretty sure it will hit you guys too. But she said that coming back to, I know we're in the pandemic and everything, she stated that I believe that this COVID is a punishment because of all the things that are happening around us. Nobody wants to be together. We're always barking at one another like a dog. We're always fighting with one another, and we are no longer happy and working together like how it was long ago. And one thing it's always good to have a reminder, and I just want everybody to remember who we are. We're Hopi, Navajo, and I know we all have our own separate traits, but just reminding everybody of Gepti, being respectful. Samit nangwa, namit nangwa, hita nangwa, pasit nangwa. Remember who we are and just be respectful. And my overall, I guess, advice would be just to have fun, be you and have fun and never be afraid to do anything. And remember that home's always there. And leave you guys off on a quote. My favorite quote actually is, never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game, because you can't do anything if you're afraid. So get out there and have fun.
For me, for the freshman and sophomore, do as many things as you can, try as many things as you can. This will help you find out what you're really passionate about. Just get out there and just do things. And for this might go against the norm, but for this juniors and seniors, really think if you really want to actually go to college, because college is not for really everyone. If your passion is for something else, you might not need college. You just might not need actually college to actually do it. And the reason why I say this is because like college itself can be a huge financial issue, and it might not be well suited for some people. So yeah, just really think if you really need to actually go to college first before you actually try going into it. Just look up what you're passionate about and look at what you need. And if you need college to do it, go and do it. If not, I would honestly suggest try looking at other resources and see if you can try and do it that way. And that's my takeaway.
All right, thanks everyone. Yeah, just short words, really short words. If you're thinking about applying for the Divine project, like don't be scared. It doesn't matter how busy you are, you will have time for the project. So just apply. And second thing is some of you guys were wondering about how to apply. So how you apply is you literally just email tutubenyuproject@gmail.com. And on the email itself, you just write your responses to the questions on the flyer. Yeah, I hope that clarifies things. And that's all. I think that's all we had, Mrs. Fredericks.
Okay, we're wrapping up here. And I'd just like to really express to all of you my gratefulness and my thanks for all of you guys being on here today. And I think there were some messages from the teachers that they expressed that you guys are like our dream, our super Bruins, and we're behind you because you're out there living your life, being independent and being successful, and your words of encouragement are inspiring to all of our students. And so we thank you for coming back and taking the time to share these words with our students, because from you young people, you're our future. And to take time to do that for our students is what I think is probably going to reach the students, to let them know just reality, what it's like, and from your experience they get inspiration. So always remember your power. What you're doing is just so inspiring, and you keep on going, and we wish you all the best in your life. Okay, and I hope that students do participate in Daniel's program. I mean, I think mentors are so important when you have people going through it and they're able to help and guide you it helps you to get through and make the road easier for you. So thank you all for joining us this morning. And you were the best of the whole week. People were saying, you know, of our school start, that your words really meant a lot. So thank you, Daniel, and thank you all of you students for joining us today. Okay, so with that, students, I'm gonna release you so that you can go have some lunch. And I'd like you to come back on this live YouTube session at 1 o'clock because we have another presenter coming on and they're gonna talk to you about Strong Minds and the new curriculum that we've purchased for the school. And they're going to be going over that at 1 o'clock. So at 1 o'clock, please go on the link back onto the YouTube live session. And we have one more speaker for you in the afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. And thank you, students, again. Much success to you in your life.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.